settled in the United States for many years, had kids maybe in the United States.
Nobody questions the humanity of most of the people that have crossed the border.
Got a job, paid taxes, contributed to society.
All right, guys, we have a few clips of Dr. Phil joining Piers Morgan because what would I rather do on Father's Day, where he's been mic'd up during these horrendous ICE raids really nationwide. So I wanted to take a moment and debunk the nonsense we could, but first, leave us a like on the video. It lets us know you enjoy the content, it gives us a huge boost in the algorithm, and we can get right to it.
Federals aren't out there to run an operation over peaceful protest. They're out there because Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have not done their job, and they aren't controlling the streets. When you've got people that are looting and attacking law enforcement officers, and you've got the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles who are not doing what they swore to do, which was uphold the Constitution and enforce the laws of the land, then what are you going to do? Now they do need somebody to come in and bolster efforts to get this under control.
The saddest part is they're still trying so hard to push this sad narrative that nobody is buying into of the usual violent lefties always do this and LA's on fire and blah, 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 only for it to all fall apart in their face as a MAGA psychopath murdered a Democratic state lawmaker in cold blood, specifically citing the same anti-Democrat rhetoric we hear from Trump. Notice how there's not a single MAGA calling for toning down the rhetoric, not a single MAGA saying, oh, well, conservatives are so violent and they always do this, or any of the things these clowns try to do when they think they can say it to make the left look bad. And on top of that tragedy, motivated directly by Donald Trump's rhetoric, I mean, the blood's essentially on his hands, the facts on the ground are also just conflicting with them. We know for a fact the LA protests are overwhelmingly peaceful. It was contained to 0.02% of the city. Only around 100 people were arrested. The people who were arrested should have been arrested. Not a single Democrat is excusing that either. And now we've had nationwide no kings protests in every state without any violence on any one of these, which is again just Democrats having to show MAGA how to be the adults in the room and hold protests. Not like January 6th, like this guy.
Would you be happy, Phil, given that a lot of those people have settled in the United States for many years, had kids maybe in the United States, got a job, paid taxes, contributed to society, maybe doing a lot of menial work that is very important to keeping America running. Would you be happy if literally all of them were deported as a matter of principle?
I again feel the need to point out here that there's no logical reason to do mass deportation outside of blatant racism. Of course, the only point for a legal immigration system to exist is to ensure that the people coming into the country aren't going to harm citizens or do things we otherwise wouldn't want them to in terms of breaking the law. So if someone came here undocumented, but they've been in the country for years without committing crimes, how are they harming citizens? We've already had that check for them. And it would be silly to say a civil infraction, it's not a serious crime in any measure, which is, I mean, that's what undocumented immigration is. It's less serious than a speeding ticket, warrants deportation, especially calculating in the simple fact, people are staying alive longer, retirement is getting longer because of that. We need younger workers to substitute the growing retired population if we want to maintain the same economic growth and social safety nets. We have to reconcile that one way or the other in the next decade or so, and immigration is just the easiest way to do that.
Humanity, to him talk about this, and he said it very well. He said, nobody questions the humanity of most of the people that have crossed the border, even illegally, that there are some good people there, some family people there. The Hispanic population is by and large, their culture is very family oriented. So no one is questioning the humanity of those people, even if they cross the border, but that doesn't make them immune from the law.
There is no logic in this. Again, it typically boils down to some sort of well, other people had it hard, so all migrants had to have it hard. It took 10 years for these migrants to get to the country and make a better lives for their families, so this migrant's family should suffer for 10 years as well. Like, no, I'm sorry. That is an insanely cruel and selfish way to view the world. Also important to note that these people don't even believe their own arguments, so why should we take them serious for a second? They legitimately think and support a 34-count felony violent and adjudicated rapist. They think he's fine to be president, but that a civil infraction warrants deportation. They deny the 9-0 civil court verdict of Trump raping E. Jean Carroll, but they accept a civil court weighing in on a civil infraction to warrant deportation. They're hypocrites, and it's really simple. They're racist and hypocrites. Mass amnesty and revamp the visa and asylum system. It's that simple, right? Put more lawyers, more judges. If you want to put more people on the border, I'm indifferent to that. And mass amnesty for the people who are here that have not committed violent crimes. And MAGA has no solutions for the borders because, well, their policies are predicated on fear and racism, so they'll never do those really easy solutions. They just want to politicize it as an issue to, one, divide and two, run on, because it's one of the last few issues that they have. That's why it leaves them and the cult saying just insanely stupid things like Democrats want an open border and just stuff not at all kind of based in reality, especially when you see like the catch and release rates for Trump were worse than Biden. Biden got border numbers down lower before he left office than Trump, and like all these different things. They tried to pass legislation the first week in 2023. Republicans consistently shot this down. I mean, it's just, they love fantasies. They love fantasies.